All right, guys, welcome to Awesomeness Hour number 2. We've got Miss Kristi Kirk with us today. Kristi, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Awesome. How's your day going?
It's going good, actually.
Fantastic. I see you're at work. Either that or you've got a very bizarre room in your house.
No, I'm at work.
All right, we're going to talk about that trophy back up there in a bit. Not yet. I got a bunch of stuff we want to go over, but that trophy's definitely getting talked about. All right, Kristi, everybody knows you're in the program, whatnot, but some of the new people don't know like the extent of how you got to us, how long you've been with us, like what your journeys look like. Did you, whatever, weight loss, the whole 9 yards. So just kind of give us the quick synopsis on your story, your journey with the tribe.
Yeah, so in June, it'll be 2 years with the tribe. I had seen a lot of my close friends, Amity, Holly, a friend Annie, have a lot of success, and I had just had a baby girl, and I only wanted her to know me as healthy and fit because I grew up in a family that was not healthy and fit. My mom was always overweight, and I think that it caused me to internalize problems growing up, and so I didn't want Hazel to have those same struggles. So sure. I signed up for the year right off the bat without meeting any of you crazy people. And I just can't imagine my life without it.
Oh, see, that's how I know I have a psychopath that I'm going to like. When somebody says, hey, I'll just do it. Like I'm all in for the whole year. That's when I know we got a good one. Like that's when you got somebody just crazy enough to make this work. What has your weight loss been? Like what'd you start? Where are you at? I mean, what's the journey?
Before I officially weighed in for the Thrive Tribe, I think I was close to 215 and 220. And I'm about 141 now.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
It's been incredible.
That's really awesome. So I've never had a baby. So with that, because this was your second child, was that the same amount of weight you gained with the first one? Was it more? What was it like?
So my weight gain both pregnancies was a little bizarre because I have a kidney condition. Mm-hmm. So probably halfway through or 3/4 of the way through the pregnancy, I would balloon up. I think both of them, by the time I delivered, I was close to 260. Okay. But then leaving the hospital, it was all based off of water weight. So leaving the hospital, I'd be down to 220, 215.
Yeah, I was going to say with the kidney condition, it was probably a massive amount of water. Yeah.
Ton of water.
So that's totally
But I mean, I've always been overweight, and funny, I was looking back, I had been doing Beachbody before Thrive Tribe, and there's something to be said. They have some good workouts.
Listen, I've been crushed by Tony Horton before. Yes. I tried to fight him one day through a flat screen. I'll tell you who won.
Even when I thought I was doing my best, I've looked back at my pictures and I'm like, wow, not even close to where I'm at now. But I think the lowest I ever was able to get to on my own without really embracing everything the program has to offer was 175.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
And that was still it was a hefty 175, not a muscular. It was still fluffy. Yeah.
Yeah. This popped into my brain. So let's ask it. How much did you weigh when you were born? Do you remember?
It was 8 pounds, 11 ounces.
Okay. So you're a big kid. How much did you weigh when you were born, Marissa?
Okay.
I think 7 pounds, 3 ounces, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was 10 pounds, 2 ounces. I'm gonna start asking everybody this question. I feel like somebody's gonna be hard pressed to beat me on this, and you guys know I like to win shit. So if I can be the champ, I'm gonna get a shirt made that says 10 pounds, 2 ounces on it. Nobody's gonna know but us. There's gonna be what does that even mean? You should. If I could find a baby picture, I look like I'm 11. I walked out of the hospital. Yeah. I walked out. I carried my mom's bag. Give me that bag. Get that shit out of here.
You've just stayed the same size your whole life.
I've said this all the time. I have been this size. That's the weirdest thing. It's creepy as shit. It's the weirdest thing. I look back at photos and I'm like, you had a monster. And my mom's not very big. My mom literally probably weighed my whole life probably around 110 to 115 pounds. So whenever she had me, you saw the picture that I posted when I was the little kid. It was not too long ago, me and my mom.
Yeah.
That was her size probably pretty much my entire life. She's still, around that same size. But probably about 100 to 110 pounds. And imagine her squirting out a 10 pounder. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, she should get a medal for that alone. Whew. Anyway, okay, I digress. Well, that's awesome. So your journey's been pretty cool.
Sorry.
I'll get it.
I got it. It's fine.
We can get it. Let's get it.
No, it's good. It's good.
Who is it?
You know, it's funny. It's Amity.
Amity, what are you doing? What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Amity.
I know, right?
Why would she call you right now when she know? You know what it is? She's pissed because now her spotlight is gone. We've turned the lights out on Amity, moved on, and she's pissed, and she wants to try to take away your time.
She's watching too.
Bullshit, Amity. That is bullshit, man. Unreal. Well, let's jump right in. So, I mean, awesome story, awesome journey. You've been, I mean, you're obviously one of the most great success story from, where you started to where you are now. And just like you said, just a continuation of your journey. What's one thing, like, cause there's a bunch of new people, and somebody asked Amity on this yesterday, like, what's one thing you would tell somebody who is either brand new or, has been doing it, but like, I mean, cause everybody feels like they should get these results like that, right? Like they should have your success in 30 days or 60 days or 90 days or even 6 months. Like, what's the one thing you would tell people about like the longevity of what you've been doing?
Patience is huge, and just to be consistent, because no matter what, as long as you're doing everything, everything is different for each person. Like, I've been killing it for a couple of weeks, like really, really working my butt off on the workouts, and I really haven't seen a lot of difference in the scale, but yeah, I know I'm doing a lot of working out and I can see the difference in my body. Not to focus on the things that you assume show progress, just to focus on overall consistency, because it all pays off in the end. And I have to keep telling myself that.
You know what? I probably haven't thought about this in the same perspective. Everybody focuses on the thing that they're interested in, and they overlook all of the other amazing things that are happening to them. Like, somebody could have this one idea of what their success is supposed to look like, and everybody else is watching them like shrink and get stronger and get faster and do all these things. And they're like, no, it's just not working for me. Right. Cause we get that idea in our head of what success is supposed to look like for us, and we overlook everything else. And
right now, like for me, I started a new position at the office, and then the coronavirus hit, and it's been a challenge because it's kind of like a quasi leadership position. Mm-hmm. And I've been focusing so much and like killing it and not giving myself credit for all the other buckets in my life, and just focusing on the damn scale, which totally goes back to when I first started. And that's something not to focus on, because I know that it all equals out in the end. Like, success isn't just measured by one thing in this program.
Well, and that's what we try to like iterate at the very, very beginning, right? We talk about all 4 buckets, and like, if you can, just because one bucket's doing great and the other 3 are doing crappy, then eventually the one that's doing great is going to eventually bleed, and you're going to, and eventually lose. So yeah, you got to get that perspective of it all matters, like everything. So let's talk about new positions and wins. Like, what's that trophy back there? Does that come with the new position?
No. So when I first started, this is actually a funny story, because this is how I met my husband. When I first started in the office, I came in with a core group of people, and we would play softball at Big League Dreams in Cathedral City. Mm-hmm. And we're very competitive in all aspects. And so let's see if I can show you guys. We collected a whole bunch of them, because we would play softball and just kill it. So there's some good pictures up there too.
Nice. Marissa, did you ever play softball? Did you ever play a slow pitch softball?
My mom tested it out with my sister, and she didn't like watching it. So every sport that my mom didn't like to watch, I wasn't allowed to play. So no.
Makes sense.
I never had a chance to play baseball.
I mean, that would probably be my parenting skill too. They'd be like, "Hey, Dad, can we play?" I'm like, "Nah, nah, it's not my thing." Dad, can we? What about ballet? And I'm like, "Fuck, no, are you shitting me? No, not a chance, right?" No way. So I can't really fault your mom for that. I'll tell you a fun story. I mean, since you ask, I used to play so obviously I'm ultra competitive. When you grow up in high school, you play every sport known to man, because you grew up in a tiny town. Like, you just get to play everything, right? Because you have to, because if you don't, they can't play. All the kids have to play everything. So I grew up ultra competitive, played football in college. And then after I played football, What's wrong with my throat? After I played football, after I stopped playing football, I was like thirsty for anything. So I'd play like these like really high level flag football things, like there's like these really competitive leagues and whatever. But I got into slow pitch softball, which seems completely weird. And I actually got to a level where I played on a traveling slow pitch softball team where we actually got paid to play. So American Airlines was one of our sponsors. And so I would fly for free. They would pay for our hotels, pay for our rental cars. If we won, we would all get like between like $1,000 and $3,000 for the weekend just to play. And if we didn't win, then we'd probably usually end up getting around $700-800 just to go play. But it was a big deal. Like these sponsors, I've played all over the country. I played in Minnesota, Kansas, Florida, Colorado, like all over the place. So every weekend I would leave on Friday night. I wouldn't come back until like either early Monday morning or late Sunday night, because we play in tournaments all over the country, and it was actually super fun. So
it is fun.
You started talking about your trophies. You brought back, so you had some flashbacks.
My dad played in a league growing up, and so every Friday night or Saturday night we'd go out to the local county park, and that's where all the softball games would be going on, and then we'd all go get pizza afterwards. So it was something that kind of came from childhood.
Yeah, funny story about being in the right place at the right time too. I was living in Dallas at the time, and we had this complex called Softball World. So it's probably like just as many softball fields as you can imagine. So I think I played in a league like on every Tuesday and Thursday night. And I remember there was we played for Tuesday, Thursdays, but I kept seeing these same dudes watching us play. And it was just really weird. And one night after the game, like we were all leaving, and these two like older dudes walk up to me and they're like, "Hey, would you ever play on this?" And they're the ones that got me into this like whole traveling softball team just from watching me play on a completely different team. So it wasn't like I was with my buddies or whatever. It was like kind of like, it was almost like being back in like a high level at college or something like that. You don't know anybody. You kind of get recruited to play. So pretty fun though. And that was back before like 9/11 or anything. So I remember one of the guys on the team actually worked for American Airlines. So we wouldn't even have to go through security. We would just park at the DFW airport, which is one of the largest airports in the world. I probably shouldn't even fucking say this. We would have, literally, because at this level, you have your own bats, and everybody's got like 4 bats and cleats and everything you could really beat the shit out of somebody with. We would literally not even have to go through security. We would go through the back, like, alleys of the airport and end up at the gate, just with all of our shit, like baseball bats and you name it. And we get on these planes and fly everywhere. Thinking about that now, it's probably the most dangerous thing on the planet, but fun. All right. So your mom made decisions based on what she liked to watch. You.
Oh, me?
Yeah, obviously. We're not.
Well, yeah. She, my sister got to do cheerleading, gymnastics, softball.
You're not a cheerleader. Don't even fucking. You're not a cheerleader, right? Anybody raise your hand if you see Marissa being a cheerleader? Nobody won. No hands went up. No fucking hands went up. Fun fact: my brother was actually a cheerleader in college.
What?
Yeah, we're not super proud of that, but yeah, he was.
Where did he go to college?
It was some bullshit school, like in Texas somewhere. He gets super into it. I remember he came home from like college. I was still in high school, and he was like talking about. He was showing all these like weird lifts and shit. I'm like, you're not picking me up for. We're not doing that, right? Yeah. So weird time in my life there. Anybody got any questions? I got some questions for Kirk. If not,
Julie said, ask Kristi, what position did you play?
Good one.
Second base.
Hold on, don't say. Did you already say it? I didn't hear it. I want to. Go ahead. I got it.
Second base.
Oh, I said third base. I'm picturing you a little stockier, like heavier, third baseman. You know what I mean? Knocking shit down. Not afraid.
I like to block people from getting to the base.
Not afraid to take one off the teeth if you had to. I can picture it. I can picture you getting dirty.
Yeah,
can't you? Like she's got a dirty uniform, almost like a little too dirty for the first inning. You're like, why? How did you get so dirty? Why are you filthy? We haven't even played. We haven't even started. The shirt's a little untucked on the side. She's chewing tobacco. Like I'm walking through the whole scenario here. You can see it.
Pretty scrappy.
We've talked about this before. Marissa, don't answer.
Okay.
Guess what position? Because we're probably getting a kickball team together. Marissa, listen, between you, do this. Marissa, do it. She's probably not very good. So we're gonna put her in right field because that's where you put that's kind of where you put the Joker at. So
He said be part of the team.
yeah, no, you're gonna be part of it. It's gonna be great for you. It's gonna be great for you. And you can do snacks and stuff. You like to do snacks?
Yeah.
You could bring snacks. It's gonna be awesome. You're gonna have so much fun.
I'm really excited.
You're gonna have a lot of fun. I can see it though. You're gonna be great.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get my questions. All right. Oh, come on. Okay. All right. Okay, so I've revised some of my answers so I can give them again because I've got a bunch of people I want to hang out with. You've already heard some of these. So quickly, Kristi, what are who are the three people that you'd want to just hang out and have a cocktail with or just have like a really cool conversation with? Three people, quickly, go.
For sure. I'd like to have another conversation with my dad. He passed like 3 years ago. And so I think that his perspective right now would be equal parts humor and smartass. So that would be amazing.
I like it.
Probably my grandma. I knew her really well as a kid. Like I have great like childhood memories of her, but would like to see her as like an adult because the stories I heard about her are incredible. And then, probably either Aquaman or.
Fun fact about that. Go ahead.
What's the other one? Yeah, probably Aquaman.
Not gonna bullshit you. Growing up, you know how you used to watch cartoons and whatever, and you had all the superheroes and whatever. Aquaman was always my dude.
Yeah,
I felt like he did not get the press and the support that everybody else got. I always felt like he was kind of everybody's bitch. They're like, oh, here comes Aquaman, whatever, blah blah blah. Dude was a stud. Unbelievable, right? I mean, so he was always my dude, so I can appreciate that. So let me know how that conversation goes. Maybe I got some questions for it there. Yeah. Are you keeping your same answers as yesterday?
Me? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
I forgot who there was. Taylor Swift,
Arnold Palmer, and
and who else?
Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, those are fun. Okay, so I've revised. Here's my second three. I have a second three. Listen, I'm popular. People are moving in and out. This is a rotating room. My first Escobar's gone. Dwayne Johnson's out in the hallway having a good time. God only knows where my dad is, right? So I've revised it. So my first dude is Hitler. Why? And I'm starting to realize something about myself too. Like I want to have conversations with some weird jokers. Here's why. Think about what he was able to do, right? I mean, how many people did he kill? I mean, was it millions, but thousands, whatever.
One too many.
Point taken. My point is this. First of all, he wanted to be a painter, an artist. And when he was younger, he sold everything he had. He moved to like France and went to like painting school or art school or whatever. First of all, I want to know, how do you go from that, right? How do you go from like wanting to use pastels and watercolors to gas chambers? Just seems like a drastic shift. And then I always want to get in somebody's brain like that, because if he was able to have that much, because think about what he did. Like he basically influenced not the world, but his portion of the world to try to eradicate an entire other, population of humans. Like he got people to support him on this, right? And he got people to like do the things that he said he was going to do with that much influence and that much power. I just always think like, what if he could have just shifted that for good? Like, what if it was the flip side? Like if it was the same technique, but if it was used for good, think about how much power that would be. Unbelievable, right? I just got some few questions. Anyway, so Hitler, which he's going to be tough to hang out with. So I had to think about the other two. I'm like, who's going to want to hang out with that fucker? So, am I right?
That's a true statement.
Yeah. Yeah. So second one, I said Hulk Hogan, because I mean, Hulkster can take anybody, right? Like he doesn't give a shit about Hitler. I mean, if shit, and I thought if shit goes down, I'm going to need a dude, right? Like I'm going to need help. So Hogan, stash, beard. And I want to talk to him about that as well. And I watched a little bit of that Hulk Hogan show. So many questions about that. I don't know if either one of you have seen any part of that. ridiculous. And then number 3, I always like to give homage. Hey, babe, what's up? No, enjoy yourself. Yeah. Number 3, I'd probably go with, and this is just off the top of my head, just because I've got nothing better to do. Probably go with, that's a tough one. You know what? I'd let Oprah come into this one since I shunned her yesterday. I feel like she's pissy about it.
It could be.
I feel like she's a bit pissy about it. So Hitler, Hulk Hogan, Oprah Winfrey.
That's going to be quite a conversation.
They're good. But yeah, I brought her in yesterday. Yesterday she was on deck, and I feel like she's a bit, you know how she can be. So
I feel like Oprah interviewing Hitler, would be.
Oprah's not interviewing shit. I'm in charge. This is my interview. Oprah's. I don't know what Oprah drinks. She's gonna get like a glass of something, shut up, and I'm doing the interviews today. It's not the Oprah Winfrey show.
I'm just saying it would be if that were the case.
It'd be, you know what it'd be? It'd be out of line. So there's that. All right, Kristi, what was your first, we asked Amity yesterday, she was the drive-through clerk, fry girl at McDonald's. What was your first job?
I worked at a pizza parlor.
Doing what?
Everything. I grew up in a very, very small town in Northern California, so it was the only pizza parlor in the town, and that's just where you would work if you wanted to like see everybody. So you made pizzas, you washed dishes, you poured the alcohol even though you were like 14, like you did pretty much everything.
Was it good pizza?
Yeah, it was delicious.
Is that because it was the only pizza that was available?
Yeah.
Okay, so it probably wasn't that delicious.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And then how old were you when this took place?
15.
Where in Northern California did you grow up? What town?
Kelseyville. It's in Lake County, by Clear Lake and Lakeport. It's up above Napa Valley in the mountains.
I'm pretty sure California ends right at Napa.
No.
And there's nothing north of that. I think you're from Oregon.
No.
So let me walk you through this. So Oregon is right above California, and then it goes Washington. So you're actually from Oregon.
No.
Surprise! Didn't. She had no clue. She had no clue.
No.
And this is why these calls are so valuable. You guys are going to learn a lot about yourselves.
I learned something new about myself.
You're going to learn a lot about yourselves. And you're going to get the opportunity to, like, you know, now you've got this whole new thing. Somebody's going to be like, hey, have you ever lived in Oregon? You're like, well, actually.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I have. So
my whole life.
You're welcome. How'd you get from Oregon here?
I came from Northern California for the job. So I went to law school in Sacramento and then knew I wanted to be a DA and did on-campus interviews and ended up in Indio, of all places. Yeah.
Didn't do well at those interviews.
Listen, I almost turned around when I saw the dinosaurs in Cabazon. I almost just tapped out at that point. Was like, there's no way this is happening.
Kind of bombed those interviews, didn't you?
Yeah, totally bombed.
Didn't really show up well.
100%. Nope. Not at all.
They probably thought the same thing. So like, this girl keeps saying she's from California. She's obviously
right.
She has no clue where she is. Let's send her to Indio. Roll the dice.
Yeah, I just heard Palm Springs. Palm Springs is what.
You know what? I think that's how people try to sell it.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was sold.
You're thinking movie stars like Fred Astaire. You're thinking, what's the guy's name? What's the Sinatra. I was gonna say Charlie Chaplin, but he's the weird dude that did all the yeah. Anyway. So you didn't know Tom when you moved here?
No.
Single.
I was actually married to somebody else when I moved here.
Oh, I was gonna say single and ready to mingle, but no. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
4 choices.
Did he come? He came with?
He did.
He didn't
and
stay.
He left shortly after.
He left long. Dinosaurs got him.
The dinosaurs definitely got him.
Dinosaurs wrecked him. Okay. All right. So how long have you and Tom been married?
We got married in 2011. So almost 10 years.
Nice. Tom, where's he from?
He's from Canada.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of that, listen, this is how my brain works. Have you ever seen the movie Spies Like Us?
No.
Okay. Have you ever seen it? Mm-mm. Somebody please, for the love of God, tell me they've seen the movie Spies Like Us. So it was like these two, I won't even get into it, but it was based in Canada. It was my first anything Canadian. It was my first time I'd ever like heard anything. I was a little kid when I watched it. So anyway, Spies Like Us, watch that. Netflix, not that good of a movie, but it's worth the reference. See if we have any, we're at in Canada, by the way.
He was born in Nova Scotia and then kind of moved all over the place and came down from Toronto and then went to high school. His dad was in construction. And so he was, his dad designed medical facilities. And so they brought him down to the States to design some medical facilities on the East Coast. And they moved over here because his dad got hired to do facilities in Ontario here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Marissa struggles with a lot of Canadian cities names. I was just hopefully there's going to throw one in there. You want to try to say that for everybody or no?
No, I'm done. You can say it for me from now on.
I don't need to say it. I know what it is. Like
What city is it, Marissa?
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, that's close enough.
You got it.
Yeah,
right.
close enough.
See, I can do it. Saskatchewan.
Not horrible. Not awful. Check the page to see if we got any questions. If not, I got a couple more questions for Kristi here.
We have some.
What do you got?
Holly says, it's not a question, but she wants Kristi to tell us about the wedding.
Oh, I'm game. Yeah. What's up?
So
the wedding.
Yes, it was a surprise wedding. We told everybody that they
surprise
were
for who?
For the guests.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe for you or Tom. I was going to say,
no.
Surprise.
Well, I mean, yeah, surprise Tom. No, we told everybody it was an engagement party. And then once everybody sat down, some of our friends said that we had run into some problems and that we were calling off the engagement and let that kind of sink into the room. And some of my friends could be heard saying some pretty bad things. And then it was like, surprise, just join us outside for the ceremony. And so everybody came outside for the ceremony. It was awesome. It was amazing.
Where did this happen here?
Mm-hmm. At the Terra-Lago Community House.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you invite all these people. They think they're coming to just a party.
Yes.
And they get to the party and they think that, do they think you brought them there to tell them that you're not getting engaged, or they think a fight happens and that you've decided? Yeah,
like a fight, like it got called off, like they decided at the last minute to end their engagement. And then instead join us outside for their wedding ceremony. So
wow. Whose idea was this?
We came up with it together, actually.
Meant to be.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Meant to be. Wow.
No pressure, no fanciness. We had a taco guy and it was incredible.
Was Holly there? Is that why she mentions this?
She was, and she was very pregnant at the time and very emotional and mad that I made her cry because she was so pregnant.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a hell of a story. Well, they'll never forget that wedding.
No.
And so then what, the justice of the peace pops out of the back room, or the priest, and is like, hey, let's do it.
And we had a judge, one of my favorite judges. He was there with us, and so he married us.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Did you say there was questions or no questions? Scrolling.
We have some people who have seen your movie. Danette says, I have, and she says, doctor.
I got there's I think the first movie I saw heard Hoser in, or whatever they say. It's a Canadian thing. Ask Tom. He'll know. Yeah, he'll know.
Bobby Jane has seen your movie as well.
It's
and Andy couldn't say Saskatchewan either. Oh,
you said it.
So you're growing up. Perfect.
Big day. All right, no questions.
There's also a Saskatoon, so you can't get those two things confused. Saskatchewan, Saskatoon.
We're already just
bitter rivals.
Day one.
You're from Saskatoon, you hate people from Saskatchewan, and vice versa. I just made that whole thing up, but I'm just saying I like to try to start feuds between places.
Oh, we have a question that just.
Okay, and then little fun fact. Okay. When I lived in Texas, one of the guys that lived in my apartment complex that I became really good friends with. So here's every Saturday night, my apartment complex thought it would be a great idea to do like a happy hour and provide free booze, which I'm sure at the first time they did it, they're like, we're going to get people together. Little do they know there's a bunch of savages that lived in this apartment complex. So I met like this group of, am I single at the time?
Oh boy.
Doesn't matter. I met this group of people at this first happy hour, and one of the guys he was from Canada. His name was Mike, last name Spanky. You got to be friends with that guy. And he was from Mike and Jocelyn Spanky, and he was from Regina, Canada. I'm like, we're gonna be best friends, and he's like, I think we are. So fun fact there. Go ahead. Whatever questions. I'm speedballing here. What do you got?
Julia asked.
So that night, first night of happy hour. Listen to this. It's a great story. First night of happy hour. I don't know anybody. You guys know me. I'm pretty introverted. God only knows why I even went down to the happy hour. It could have been the free cocktails or whatever. Yeah. So me, the Spankies. Oh, and I know why I went, because I brought one of the dudes, one of my employees at work. I'm like, hey man, you want to have drink some free beer tonight after work? And I think Mike's from Minnesota. Nobody from Minnesota says no to free beer. So he and his wife came with me to the happy hour. So Mike, his wife, the Spankies, and then and this other couple we met was kind of like on the fringe. Like we knew better, but we also knew it would be a great train wreck the more they consumed. So after happy hour, we're all like, well, let's go out. So we all went out to this like local bar. We've never met these people before in my life. Don't know any of them except for Mike and Mike and Sarah. Middle of the night, we're in this bar, and we're like, there's kind of an outside patio area. We hear screaming at the top of their lungs. The lady is face planted on the hood of the car that her husband is trying to drive home, and he's driving through the parking lot with her on, like Superman on the hood, and we're all just watching it like, this is And so the next Friday, we went to happy hour again with the same people. And there was a disaster every time. I mean, disaster. Oh. So anyway, go ahead.
Was she okay?
Yeah. He didn't drive away. I mean, he stopped before he left the parking lot. The man's not a killer.
Were they in a fight? I mean, you can't just stop this.
Yes, they were in a fight. They weren't. What do you think they were?
I don't know. Maybe I thought like he was leaving and then she just kind of hopped on.
Oh, so they were both from Philadelphia. So instead of saying water, she said water or something like this. It took me like 6 years to figure out what the hell she wanted. I was like, she has this weird speech impediment. And they're like, no, she's saying water. I'm like, oh, fuck, well, give her water, for God's sake. So anyway, anytime they drank, they got into it was this crazy shit show. Yeah. First night, never met these people, couldn't even be on her best behavior. Come to find out, that was her best behavior. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy moly. Okay.
Seem relevant.
Yeah. Well, this is complete change of pace, but
we'll shift gears.
Kristi, were you anything like Hazel when you were little?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm getting paid back like tenfold at this point in life.
What do you think that is? Obviously we've all seen the pictures and the videos and whatever, but what makes Hazel? Like, I mean, is it just a disdain for authority? Is it, what do you think?
If you tell her no, she'll smile and agree and then find a way around it. She doesn't, like, nothing stands in her way. Like, we try to put things up on like shelving, and I came out and she has this inflatable unicorn, and she had gone and got the inflatable unicorn from her room and moved it to the dresser and was standing on top of the inflatable unicorn to get the stuff. She finds a way around anything. Like, nothing is ever going to stop her.
That's good.
And she's got a really bad temper, like extremely bad temper.
Meaning goes like
Oh yeah.
Like gets mad or gets just loud, or what? I mean, what do you mean bad temper?
Oh, both. Like if she gets mad, she'll look at you and just be like, no, and then she'll storm away. Or if she doesn't want to do something, she'll throw herself on the floor and just stare at you and scream. It's epic.
That's my move. Yeah. I mean, that's what I do. It's not that big of a deal.
She has more personality than I've ever seen anything in my life.
Huh. Well, I mean, let's be honest. If you can guide that and harness it, those could all be good. Those could all be good traits.
She's going to be good at whatever she does, good or bad. She's going to be the best.
I mean, what does your son do when this is going down?
He usually laughs at her, or he goes and hides, because he's Tom and very calm and very every once in a while though, like Tom likes to poke fun at people and likes to like rile people up and then walk away.
We've all met
Yeah.
Tom.
Yeah. Hayden will do the same thing, but Hazel comes back swinging. So then when he gets, I came out the other day because Hayden was screaming and she's on top of him, like trying to choke him out. Like,
what's the age difference?
They're 5.5 years apart, but only separated by 20 pounds.
Okay. 5.5 years apart. So how old is he, Hayden?
He's 7.5.
7.5. Okay. All right. So can I give you some parenting advice from a child's perspective?
Yeah.
Not from the parent's perspective, because I got no fucking clue about that.
Yeah.
My brother was about the same age difference in me. They might be different because they're boy and girl. I think they probably will be. But like, it was, it's such a weird age gap. They don't really have anything in common. You know what I mean? Because they just get so far apart. So I do whatever I can to like try to bridge. But I bet it's going to be different since it's a boy and a girl, because he's going to want to take care of his little sister.
Yeah, he's so protective of her. It's insane.
My brother just wanted to beat the shit out of me, which is really, it was kind of a reverse type. Yeah, it was bizarre. Yeah. Very bizarre. So I think you'll be fine there. So never mind. I retract my advice. Any more questions? Because I got a couple. I'm ready. Okay, good. Good. We did that. So I asked these are kind of, these aren't really these aren't fun or funny as they could be. So we asked Amy the same things. What's one thing you've learned about yourself so far during Opportunity 2020?
That I still hold all of my stress inside, and then it just comes out all at once. That I need to learn to, I get so focused on making sure everybody else is okay that I don't take time for myself to make sure I check in and make sure I've like released any stress, or I still self-internalize too much.
So, obviously your days aren't that drastically different because you got work and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You're kind of in the same flow. So it's a smidge different for you because you're not really working from home or out of your normal dynamic. Is there a way that you can, even though, like I just said, you're not out of your norm the whole lot, is there any way you can use this time to like reflect on that, tap into that, like stop? Because really all that is a pattern, right? Like you have a patternistic approach to how you handle stimuli. Is there a way to like reverse or flip or do a different pattern?
Yeah, I think that, I honestly stopped journaling, and that had been helping me a lot because I was able to like get everything out at the beginning of each day. I think that it goes hand in hand with my need to want everything to be perfect. And right now, even though I'm coming to work every day, everything's completely different. And there's very few of us here like taking care of what needs to get done.
Right.
And I think I got so focused on, everybody was really afraid of having to go to court and having to deal with, the people in custody and having to be around people, that I think that I just said, well, I don't have time to be afraid. So I think it's just really checking in with myself and just letting myself feel, because sometimes I think feelings are a sign of weakness.
No, so I think another different way to look at that is feelings mismanaged, right, could possibly be a sign of, I wouldn't even use the word weakness, but of misguided use of your own strength, right? Yeah. So but when you manage and you deal with your feelings and emotions, that's normal. Like anybody who's emotionless or feelingless wouldn't be, they'd be a cyborg, so they wouldn't have that. So really the differentiator is like, acknowledgement, the self-awareness, and then the application of what am I going to do with these feelings. And then there's something I read a lot, or maybe if I think about it a lot, I've heard a lot. We don't have to react to everything we think, right? So a lot of times, like as humans, we have irrational thoughts. Wouldn't you agree with that? I know I do.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not possible. That can't be a unicorn, right? I'm like, that's right. And so you have to process that. So if you can start to do that and say, well, that's not an emotion that needs to be acted upon. So it's people that act and react to almost every emotion they feel. Those are the ones that kind of get off base a lot. So do a check-in with yourself next time you start to feel that and say, how am I processing right now? Am I processing emotions that really aren't really relevant to the situation, or is it a relevant emotion? Sometimes they are, right? But if you do that self-awareness check-in, then you can actually make the decision on, is this something that needs my attention, or is this something that I'm just giving attention to, right? Because a lot of times we defer to things that really aren't that important because it takes the focus off of the shit that we really need to get done. It's like folding laundry when you know you ought to be working, or you know you should be doing something productive.
I also have learned that my need to control things is excessive. I need to realize that I can't control everything.
I mean, you're talking to probably one of the most OCD people that I know. So I get that. Like, and I don't necessarily think that that's a horrible thing, but you do have to be able to release the fact of knowing that like that's just an unrealistic desire. Right? Yeah. So, yeah. But so anyway, back to that initial question. Start to try to work on that right now, because I mean, this would be a great time for you to be able to come out of all this with a new perspective on not internalizing everything, and then not letting it build up, because what happens when it builds up. It doesn't lead to anything productive. Right. So stop repeating that same perpetual behavior over and over again. Marissa, I asked you this yesterday, but you got anything new that you've learned about yourself in the last 24 hours or that you didn't mention?
No, well, something that I missed, which I called you about yesterday, that you and I both chatted about.
So, I mean, you could flip that into an opportunity to take advantage of that even more so when you get the opportunity to take advantage of. Yeah, tell them. I think it's a good story.
Okay. So yesterday I was on a walk grabbing a package from my mail, but it was something that just kind of sparked me. But across the road, there's this dad that was carrying his like young toddler son and then pushing this little scooter with his like baby on it. And the baby was falling over. And my natural instinct, and the dad's like struggling because his like kid up here is like messing around and he's trying to save his baby. And my natural instinct is like, do you need some help? Like, how can I help you? Like, what can I do? And then at that moment, I was like, wait, I can't get 6 feet near this person. Like, I literally cannot help this person. And my heart just hurt so bad at that point. Like, it ended up being fine, but it's like little things like that. I cannot wait to get back to having that normalcy of being able to like help people and open up, like Coach and I were talking about this yesterday, like being able to open up a door for somebody, or just like common courtesy things that we all take advantage of. Like, I know I'm guilty of it. And I called him yesterday and I was like, I really hope when we're back into our quote unquote normalcy, that I don't forget how much I missed it. And
that's what Holly and I were talking about, is creating a list of things that we have appreciated during this time, to have it memorialized, to know not to take this for granted moving forward. Because when everything opens back up, 9 out of 10 people are going to just go right back to where they were before, and those same tendencies. And I want to take like this time, like this, the last time something like this happened was literally 100 years ago. And so like we are given this opportunity, or going through this experience, hopefully not for another 100 freaking years, right? I mean, this is something that hopefully our children won't ever have to go through. And so if you can take what you learned and keep it close to you, I think you come out a better person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hands down.
I told Ton I was going to be a psychopathic hugger. I miss hugging people. Like, just like, even like a pat on the back, like he's like, you're going to get punched in the face. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm just going to hug everybody. Like, just hug people.
I mean, I agree with you. I think it'll be, it's one of those things that the people who want to do that are going to be, aggressively wanting to get back to normal. And there's always going to be that subset of people who just, are afraid of everything. So yeah, I'm with both of you on that. I have learned something, super important and a little bit sad for a few people in this time. So I feel bad for my hairdresser. I've realized that I have been What? Can I not? I mean, did I talk when either one of you guys were trying to be serious? Did I say a word? I just sat here, which is hard for me. I realized that I have been getting my hair cut too often, and that I'm going to let, as they say in golf, I'm going to let the big dog eat, and I'm going to let him grow a little bit. And I don't know when I'm going back.
I feel like you should do a man bun.
Oh, trust me, there's a man bun coming. There's a man bun right around the bend.
I thought we agreed that you weren't going to grow a beard either. Like, is it patchy? Like, can you do like
it's
a side?
little, you know what? I talked to it last night. I've been brushing it,
Yep.
I've been brushing the side. So the side right here is the only problem. But you know what it is? I looked last night. It's blonder hair right there. It's just not as dark. So if I'm thinking about getting some beard dye.
I think at this point they call that gray.
No, well, it could be. I don't know. I'm colorblind. But yeah, it's coming. I mean, I feel like depending on how much longer this goes on, I mean, I don't know.
You definitely, you know what? I have some hair dye that I thought about, ahead. I can drop it off, and it's even the brush stuff. Like it's like for the roots. I
don't love the beard. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I've made the commitment. It's like the Stanley Cup. Until we win the cup, I'm not shaving.
To be honest, I can actually see you with a man bun right now.
Oh, it's coming. I'm telling you.
It's like almost.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, it's there. Right now it's still, I got some, it's kind of sweaty because I've worked out a couple times a day, going a couple walks, but if he was fixed appropriately, I mean, we're talking, I mean, it's going to be great. I feel bad for Sherry. I'm gonna have to write her a note.
Oh boy.
Say we're not breaking up, but we want, we'll see you for a while, that type of thing. It's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard on her. So if you guys know, Sherry, the lady who cuts my hair, maybe drop her a, smiley face emoji or something. So, all right, hold on. We got about 14 minutes left. Kristi, what is one opportunity? You kind of talked about this a little bit. What's one opportunity that you created or taken advantage of during this unique time?
Getting to know my husband again. I think that when you have kids and so much of our time is spent just doing busy work or doing things out of obligation and getting the kids and things. And I think that really taking the time to be at home and learning each other as a family unit and realizing that all of that stuff, this last weekend for Easter, we literally got an inflatable pool, blew up an inflatable pool for the kids. Tom has been working on woodworking. He made a cornhole board. And we kicked each other's butts in a cornhole game while the kids played in an inflatable pool. It was just the best Sunday ever. And just getting to learn that aspect of family instead of just all the stuff that feels like it has to happen.
Yeah.
It just makes you know that you're with the right person and that you're going to be okay no matter what.
No doubt. And you took the opportunity to do all that. And if it would have been quote unquote regular times, you would have probably felt obligated to do other stuff, right? To go out and go to a brunch or go to a group Easter egg hunt or go to here or go there. So
we would have hit 5 different activities on Easter Day.
Yeah. And not all of those combined probably would not have been as fulfilling or as rewarding as just doing what you guys did. It
was one of the best Easters I think we've ever had.
That's a great takeaway. Julie sent me a note yesterday. Yesterday was Charlie's birthday, and people did the drive-bys and the happy birthdays and all that jazz. And she sent me a note and said that Charlie said it was one of the best birthdays that she's ever had, right? And so if you think about that from a perspective, even a kid, that's a really strong awareness to be able to say, I didn't go to Chuck E. Cheese or the water park or we didn't have 17 people over to the house or whatever. So I think if we all took that step back and just appreciated the little things that we get the opportunity to do that we probably wouldn't do if it wasn't this, this unique time.
I think so much of it comes from the want to impress others or the want to put out this image that this is what's necessary in order to create happiness. We have always said with our kids that we're only going to do one activity at a time. So Hayden gets to pick one sport to do. We don't do this and then this and then this. It's just one sport for the season, and we will do one event a weekend because we do we've always Tom has been practicing the social distancing for some time now. That guy, he is loving this time because he's not a very social person. But it also came to our kids are okay. They're okay in a family, they're okay with nothing right now. So it kind of also validated kind of our position on parenting too. Our kids aren't losing their shit because they don't get to do X, Y, and Z. they miss the one thing that they were doing, but they also are able to go into the room. Like him and Hazel went on this Lego spree for like hours, just the two of them. I mean, it mostly consisted of Hayden building and Hazel wrecking shop, but I mean, they just, it teaches them to be independent, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. And what you guys are living right now is pretty much my life of isolation, hermitism, those types of things. I mean, because I'm not super social. I mean, Lori and I go out a lot, but it's usually just her and I, you know, and sometimes it is with like another couple or something like that. And I begrudgingly say yes and go. But most of the stuff we do is really, you know, kind of isolatory. So this, for me, this is like business as usual. Like I'm not even, the only thing I miss is obviously the studio and all that. That's kind of where I get my social extrovertism. As an ambivert, like that's kind of my outlet. But I've never been the kind of person that needed a whole lot of like, you know, socialism or social activity.
Yeah.
Have you learned anything? What else have you taken advantage of, Marissa? Any opportunities or anything?
What I've realized is that, I mean, going off the conversation that we're just talking about right now, is that I really am okay, or like really set on being by myself. Like the comfort of it. And like, I'm already like, kind of like you, like I'm a huge introvert, not an extrovert at all. So I'm good with staying home and not, you know, being super social. Like I get my socialness going to the studio, but being home like by myself has just been comforting at this point. At first it was uncomfortable, but now it's just like, wow, like I don't think I can have another person in this house. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's been, I mean, and again, I just to compound on what Kristi was saying, like I think even for Lori and I, like even though we don't have kids and we're not doing activity and stuff like that, literally I get up at 3:19 every morning and that's our day kicks off, and we probably don't sit down and talk to each other until, I mean, sometimes I don't get home from the studio and after Scott until like 7:30. So I might see her for like 3 minutes during the day, like just in passing, because if she's here at the house, she's usually in her office on a Zoom, on a podcast, doing something, or she's at her spa doing whatever. So we never even see each other. So this has been, like you said, like a really good, I mean, it's a validation that we actually like each other.
Yeah.
So it's been awesome for us. We were even saying that last night. We were like, what I'm going to miss the most is like us getting to hang out, like, you know, getting to spend more time together and, you know, cook more and have lunch together almost every day and, you know, walk to the studio. Like you start to really appreciate those things. So I think that's what I'll miss the most is like, just, you know, her and I being able to walk to the studio or have lunch or, you know, dinner every night together, the whole 9 yards. So definitely.
But doesn't it make you like want to reincorporate, like maybe that stuff that you need to reincorporate even after?
Yeah. And we always talk about it too. I mean, this is why we try to go, like we go to Vegas all the time. People are like, why do you go to Vegas? And like one of our favorite things about going to Vegas is the 4-hour car ride. Yeah. Right. Because we take the back way. There's no traffic. We just listen to music or podcast or books and we talk and whatever. And like, we probably connect more in that 4 hours than we probably get to see each other all month because of the busyness of our schedules. So that's really one of the main reasons we go there so much is because of just that aspect. It's easy for us. But yeah, we definitely want to make sure we're incorporating more of that in there, building into the schedule once that life gets back to like, you know, quasi whatever our normal is going to be. How are you handling? Are you paying attention to all of the noise and whatever, or like what's your and I'm only asking this because this may give somebody else the tools or the resources or the system. Because I mean, you guys know me, like I would not know really anything going on if I didn't talk to Lori or if I didn't get an occasional like scroll by something on Facebook by accident and read like a little snippet.
So being here at work, we're kind of like going with what the court tells us, like when it's going to open back up. So it's like every day we're getting daily updates as far as like how to go forward and like what we need to tell our people and like how we're going to organize. So it's kind of hard to tune that out when it's a part of our daily, like trying to structure our caseloads and like where we need people to be. But as far as like the numbers or like when it's like, I think for a long time, and it kind of went back to something that I learned was a problem, is like this expectation. Like I wanted to start setting expectations of like when is this going to be over? What, like,
Right.
And I kept getting disappointed because I kept setting these damn expectations. And then I went back to like, well, you're only going to disappoint yourself with these expectations. They're not relevant. Like, what's relevant is just handling life and taking it day by day and just doing your best. So at this point, like, trying to guess how anything's going to play out or when things are going to be lifted or what it's going to look like, it just doesn't do any good right now because I just don't think anybody really knows.
Right. Yeah, I've kind of taken the reverse approach, and a lot of times, I mean, sometimes I get like, because here's the only thing that gets me. I am super scientific. Like, I like data, and I like real data, and I don't feel like I'm getting honest data because if you look at, I mean, somebody says this, somebody says this, somebody says this, and in my analytical brain, I try to put that into a formula and put it on a graph and a chart, and it's all over the place. And I'm like, well, this doesn't make any sense, right? And with my brain, if I can't make sense of something from an analytical, scientific perspective, then I just discredit it. I'm like, well, then the whole thing's effed, right? As far as the other stuff goes, like, I don't even think, I'm not worried about the thing itself or the boogeyman or all that stuff. I'm like you, it's the data that's driving that if I do get caught up in anything, it's like, I just want somebody to tell me like real data so I can make an educated decision on what I need to believe. Right. Because right now I think we're believing things and people believe things based on either biased or, incomplete data points. And that's just the recipe for disaster.
Yeah. Right? It's almost pointless. Like, it's just kind of like, it is what it is. And you just have to keep going forward and it'll all shake out the way.
I thought I had Ebola 2 days ago, just so you guys know. I do not. But I was under the impression that I had Ebola.
Yeah. That would be bad.
Yeah, I did. I just scratched myself on the pool getting out. Yeah. It was more of a burn than anything. So I'm fine.
I could see how you got confused with that one. I mean, that's pretty
right. Am I right? So not a big deal. I'm going to be fine. Okay. I just wanted to put that out there because I know there's people.
That is a relief.
I know there was people worried. So.
Yeah. For sure.
Kristi, is there anything else you want to leave us with? Like, if you want to ask a fun question, you want to tell us a fun story, do you want to, I mean, Amity really screwed this one up. I mean, she had nothing for me. So hopefully you learned I was going to ask you this. So maybe you didn't.
No, definitely did not.
God.
I am sure you have something funny to end us with. I mean, anything.
Man, I'm not really that funny.
You think you are, though. I mean.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. All right, well, let's do it. What is your favorite? We'll do a little game of favorite. If you had to pick one movie that you love more than anything else on the planet, what would it be?
Dirty Dancing.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Dirty Dancing.
Go ahead, Marissa. What do you got?
I can't answer that.
Don't say Frozen. If you say fucking Frozen,
but I can live without it. I don't know, because I'm pretty awful with movies. I fall asleep in every single one of them. So movies aren't really my jam. Well, okay. I do have a thing for 80s movies. I love 80s movies. If I were to pick, it would be anything from the 80s.
You can. I didn't put any stipulations. It could be any movie you want. Pick a movie. What do you want?
I don't know. Breakfast Club is the first thing that comes to my mind.
Okay. Have you seen Can't Buy Me Love?
Yes.
Classic. Love that. What was her? Hold on. Don't tell me.
I'm trying to think of the name.
No, the blonde girl in that. Man, I wanted to mow lawns so bad because that's what Patrick Dempsey did. And I'm thinking, maybe I'll start mowing lawns and maybe that she's out there. You know what I mean? Never mowed lawns except for my own, but then so yeah. What was her name? Can't Buy Me Love. Somebody help me out. Oh, blonde chick. His name was come on, people.
I'm waiting for comments just in case, but nobody's commenting.
Ronald Miller was his name. Cindy Mancini. Why do I know that? Ronald Miller, Cindy Mancini, best love story of all time. Tee that up tonight, guys. Fire it up tonight. You and your hubby, telling you, you're going to want to mow the grass. It's unbelievable. When they went and looked into the telescope out at the thing, and it was, Oh, you guys didn't ask me what my favorite movie is. I'll just ask myself. Jay, what's your favorite movie if you had to pick one right now? I would say I flip back and forth. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a few on the roster that like if I see it on, like oddly enough, I mean I'm just gonna rattle through a few. So I could if I see Braveheart on, I could just watch it. I mean, there's something about it. I mean, I just want to scream freedom. Braveheart's a good one. Like Gladiator's another one. Something may be wrong with me. A lot of death, a lot of killing in these movies that I like. I'm going to flip the script on you. So those two would be on that genre. So Braveheart, Gladiator, anytime, any place. I wouldn't actually mind seeing a remake where they combine the two. I don't know how you do. Listen, I'm not in the movie business. I don't know how you do it, but I think that'd be awesome. On the flip side, Wedding Crashers, probably one of the greatest movies ever made from a comedic duo perspective. Could watch just the banter between. I don't need all the story. I could literally just watch the banter between those two, back and forth for hours. Vince Vaughn, if I had to pick a favorite actor of his time, like not now because he's doing like weird dumb shit, but like in his prime of like Wedding Crasher stuff, he was the funniest human that I've ever met. Because I like his personality and like sarcasm is basically how I feel like I base my my total communication skills.
What about your thing with Step Brothers?
I love fun fact. The other day, I was scrolling through because there's nothing on TV. TV is awful. Like, I mean, outside of The Lion King, there's nothing, or Tiger Drawers or whatever that show is. There's nothing worth watching. But I put it on Step Brothers and I just watched the first 7 minutes. Classic. I literally laughed out loud every time when he's talking to his dad about whenever the lady moves in and she's had the old bull and now maybe she wants to try the young calf. I literally want to throw up every time. It makes me laugh so hard. If you guys want to laugh, okay, two things tonight. I want you to tee up Step Brothers, watch the first 10 minutes. Then I want you to kick on Can't Buy Me Love. Maybe pour a bottle of rosé. Maybe if you're into reds, maybe go with a Pinot. Something light, right? Don't go heavy. Something light. Dim the lights a little bit. Put the kids to bed. Watch Can't Buy Me Love. Thank me tomorrow. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. You're welcome. Kristi, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for coming on, letting people learn a little bit more about you, and we appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Bye, guys.
We love you. See you.